Alright, so for Walter White, I'm going to be using my 6B again, same pencil as last time with the pencil holder. So let's see how this goes, and hopefully I can capture his lightness. Alright, so for his face, it's pretty symmetrical. So here, I'm just going to draw a line. So this is going to be where his eye is going to be. And let me see if I were to draw, roughing out the side of the head. Just want to get in something first. Maybe that will be the overall head shape. Okay, so let's see, the eye is going to be somewhere right here. Let's say 1 and 2, one eye spacing. So I think that's okay. So, all right, so let's try to go with that. So his eyes, I'm just going to draw one of them. It's a little bit of a squinting, so it's very straight. Straight across, comes down. Spacing here. Do the eyeball inside. Might be a little bit further apart here. Okay, so eyebrow coming, everything's pretty angular here. It's very straight. Okay, and then let's see his nose, and I'm trying to ignore the glasses for now because just try to focus on the features first. I don't want to use the eyeglass as placement. Okay, so let's see if I come straight down his nose, right on the corner of the eye. If I angle that, I'm just trying to see how long his nose is. Let's try that. So come down, about the same corner of the eye. If I draw a line there, just kind of checking the reference to see how long it is. Okay, so here's center here, nostril. Okay, and then let's keep going. So his beard, his mustache here, coming down, corner of the eye. Okay, comes down right around here. His mouth, when it comes down here, the line, going straight up. Somewhere around there. Okay, you can't really see it anyway, so maybe it's okay. So obviously I've drawn the my initial outline of the face is a little bit off, which is to be expected because I didn't spend too much time doing that. Okay, so if you want it like an exact size, you can draw in the shape first, and then you can measure, in terms of proportions where the eye line is gonna be, and then that way you get the kind of like the original size that you want to draw it at. But since I'm not too concerned about that, that's why I just kind of drew in something real quick, and then just drawing the eyes, and I'll go from there, and I'll just adjust accordingly. Okay, this way I don't spend too much time, trying to get things accurate. And as you know, I really don't care about accuracy all that much. Kind of want to have fun sketching. Okay, so here's his beard. Let's see, kind of lost track a little bit. So here's the side of the head. So now that it's everything's a little bit bigger. So let me go ahead and erase that. Okay, so it comes down. Chin right around here. His jawline. It's got a line there. It's gonna be important because it gives this little expression here. And then for his ear, side, eyebrow right here. Okay, so just come down roughly to his nose right here. So just leave it like that. And then obviously this looks funny because it looks like a really small cranial. So let's make that bigger. Okay, hope you guys can see this. Okay, so he's bald up here. So that's gonna save us some time with the hair. Okay, so his other ear right here, we can see a little bit more. So let's come across right around here and ends right around the nose area. Okay. All right. Kind of looks like a Vulcan ear right now. All right, so we'll fix that later. Okay, so now let's come back and just add in a little bit more detail. Here's his brow, his glasses. Let's see, now we can draw in the glasses. So let's fill that in. So in between here, this glass is going to be right over his brow. Come down right around here. Okay, so straight across. Use the other side for reference. Curves down. This one comes out a little bit more, so his head's a little bit tilted this way. That's why we see more of the ear. Things that we don't notice too much unless you start sketching and you're like, wait a minute. Okay, so let's see. Okay, shadow right here. Just put that in real quick. Here, shadow, shadow. Yeah, it gets a little bit messy with this glasses, isn't it? Okay, so let's see down here. Yeah, let's draw in a little bit more his jawline here. It's gonna come down. This one goes out a little bit more. Comes in. Another line here. It's a little bit confusing right here. Okay, and then his neckline, then his shirt, sweater, jacket, whatever it is. All right, so we got first pass. Let's go ahead and draw in his eye. So this would be my second pass, and now I'm gonna be paying attention, or more attention to the eyes. Let's try to get that in. Try to get that shape. It's very long. And here's a little bit of highlights. I'm just gonna circle it. And overall, this is gonna be pretty dark because we can't see much of it. And his eye right here is actually pretty dark, tucks in. It's kind of like a fold going out here. Okay, and his brow right here. I'm gonna ignore the glasses for now. Yeah, it might, because there's a shine to it. I'm not sure what to do. If I can, kind of don't like to sketch. I mean, I can sketch around it, but just kind of like a pain in the butt. Or I can just go ahead and shade everything, and then if I need that highlight, I'll just come in with it with an eraser and just kind of cut it back. Get back the highlights. Okay, so this one is slightly slanting down more. Corner. Okay, I think the placement's okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore the glasses for now because I don't want to. I mean, I was shading the shadows and stuff, but I really don't want to spend too much time trying to avoid that area. Okay. All right, so that's his eye, and let's see. Let's come back up here. Just gonna give a little bit more form, and he's got a lot of little lines on his face, which really gives it character. Okay, so right here is pretty dark. It's a shadow. This is pretty dark. Dark here, and this is brow. Again, I'm just coming in again. Yeah, there's a lot of little details on his face. Okay, so let's move on to his nose. So here's his nose coming down. And there's some side lighting here, so everything is a little bit more complicated. So here's the highlight. Here's the bottom of the nose, and right here is dark, this nostrils. And right here, this is all pretty dark. So I'm just gonna just give that a little bit of shading. So wings of the nose. Okay, and this is kind of round right here, so that's why it's darker up here. And then there's some rim lighting back here, so this is dark. Here's his nose. This part's gonna be dark. This one's in shadow. Here's a shadow on the side of the face here from his nose, the light coming on this side, so this part's gonna be dark. This is dark, and let's add a little bit of bounce light. So here's the bottom here. So this part, just come up and draw, shade a little bit around it like that. That's gonna give just a slight bounce light, and it'll really help to make it more realistic. And then the shadow here, this is darker than in here. So The shadow is always darker than things that are in the shade. Okay, and then, all right, let's rough in some of the mustache. So I'm just gonna draw contour of it first. Okay, dark, 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 all the way back here. There's a lot of little shadow going on here, so it's actually a little bit more complicated than I thought it would be. So here's its mouth opening here, coming across, darker here. Here's this lip, there's a little bit of highlight running along here. It's kind of what gives it the expression. Okay, so here's the bottom here. So this is going to be his mustache coming down. All right, so we should have a little fun shading the mustache later on. So try to give this kind of strokes to follow the direction of the individual hair. It'll really help. It'll make it a lot easier. Gives it a nice flow to it. Okay, so all right, so those are the features, and now let's shade in some of the stuff around it, like the jaw lines at the cheeks and things like that. So right here, this is cheekbone. This part right here is dark, it sinks in, and it's gonna get dark here, and there's a little bit of rim lighting. So that's what I mean, it's a little bit more complicated. This part right here is dark. It's a pretty deep fold right here. Okay, so right now I'm just trying to see shapes, you know. Just ignore everything else and just try to visualize the form on the what you see on the reference. Okay, so this part comes out. So the rim lighting right here. Okay, so this part is whiter. So this part's darker. Darker in here still. Okay, and then some lines. Maybe I can just quickly draw that in. Okay, give it some nice surface lines. Okay, and then his ear. I'm gonna skip that for now. I don't want to get my hand all dirty. Just when I'm over the paper. Okay, so let's add more detail up here. His nose a little bit darker. So overall, you can shade this part a little bit darker because usually in the on the face, this part's a little bit redder, so it's a little bit darker when you turn it into black and white. So it kind of looks like Rudolph, right? I think you guys seen that in some of the sketches, portraits that people do. Their nose is really red almost, so this part's really dark. Kind of looks a little bit funny, but then it looks good. So don't worry about exaggerating the darkness right here. It actually looks good. Okay, so this part's dark, darker, dark here. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of little. It's got a lot of folds up top too. So. Okay, so let's see, highlight, it's kind of like right in the middle right here. All right, so highlight here and then highlight here. I'm just trying to identify the light source. So right on the top, right here, here's another highlight from the rim lighting. So this part right here is dark, and right here gets a little bit darker. Okay, so and then right here, here's another patch of white right here from the light from the side, and right here is darker. So there's almost like a little channel that goes right back. And then there's a little bit of white spots right here from the fold. It's actually pretty complicated. Okay, I didn't see. I thought it would be an easy face to draw, but I guess not. Okay, just because there's a lot of his face got a lot of character. You know, there's a lot of little folds and makes it more, gives them a lot of character, but definitely harder to draw. Okay, this is way too wide. I try to shade without drawing the lines around it first. So usually that's how you get the proportions wrong. Unless, of course, you're really good. Okay, here, let's add slightly here, right here. Dark. Yeah, this ear is really complicated too, just because of the lighting. All right, so let's take another pass. This would be my second pass, and now let's really go in there and try to add in more detail. Another level of dark here. I just erase out the highlight. Okay, so right here now I'm just gonna see patches, and I'm just gonna go for it because at this point, again, I can't really change the too much of the placement of all the features. So whatever I get now, in terms of lightness, is what I'm gonna get. So just go for it. Darker here, dark here. This highlight right here, this rounds off, comes down, dark here, and again, this is dark. I gotta accentuate that. Lines. Coming down, let's just work across. I was gonna work on the other eye, but let's just come across here. There's a lot of little shading in here, which is kind of cool. So again, this is in the shadow right here, so that's why this is dark. So it's actually darker than what right here. This is in the shade, so it's not as dark. Okay, so here's this nostril. That's really hard to see. Again, this is gonna be in shadow, so let's make that dark. And again, let's accentuate the redness of the nose. Okay, so this part right here, not too dark here. Okay, so darker on the side. This is rounded. Down here, it's a little bit darker. Yeah, I know it looks a little bit messy. Just because I'm seeing a lot of little things, and if I concentrate too much, this is gonna take forever to draw. So that's why my strokes are really rough right now, which is okay. Okay, so I make that darker, and again, I lost the highlight, and I might erase, just put it back in later. Dark here, here's this brow coming down. Kind of slants down a little bit. Okay, right here, this round right here. This part's darker. Some lines coming out. Okay, so let's see a little bit more details in here. Right in between, and then here's this glasses. Let's just draw that part. Nice and shiny right there. Right here's dark, dark, line, line, line. Draw some of those lines, I guess. Okay, so dark here, this is glasses. Drawing some of the frame, parts are dark. So highlight there, so maybe I'll just leave it. I mean, again, with the frame, you can put in a lot of detail if you want. It's really up to you. But I'm gonna try to make it, fit the detail level that I'm drawing for the head. So if my overall face is very sketchy, then my glass frame, the glasses, should be sketchy as well, so that we don't get two different kind of styles going on. Okay, so highlight, and then here's the shadow. Let's draw that. here's a real mess. A little. Okay, so now that I've drawn this side, I gotta put in the frame on this side as well. So this is dark, cross, highlight here, comes straight across, comes here, and here's the going back. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw this, let's see. Okay. And then this right here, shadow. Comes back down here, this part's dark. This part's dark. Rim lighting from the side right here, here's a little highlight. Accentuate the lines a little bit. His eyes a little bit lower here in the brow. Okay. All right, let's come down and work more on the mouth because everything is, well, let's add a little bit more detail down here. Okay, so there's detail now, and now this thing looks out of place, right? So let's just go ahead, shade that in. Again, leaving it rough. And this part right here is really dark. It's a little bump here. Okay. Again, if you see guys, you guys see me stopping a little bit, it's because I'm looking up in the camera. Make sure things are in frame. Down here. Slip line again. Redrawing it. Highlight down here. Very subtle. And dark, dark. Okay, so let's work up here. So this part right here is really dark, except some highlights, again from the lighting on the side. And I might keep those. I can try to shade around it, you can leave some space like that, or I guess a better thing to do is just use the eraser later, come back over it and just, cut it out. Although for those kind of small highlight, I might need one of those electronic erasers. And if you guys don't know what that is, I do have videos on that. Some really old videos that talk about those. Very useful to get back really hot highlights. Okay, so right here, this part's dark right here. Okay, right here, now I'm seeing it more. This part again, darker still. It's a very complicated shape right here. Here, it's cross, dark. Okay, so let's fill this in a little bit more. And let's see, we can go down. All right, let's just go down a little bit on right here. Okay, here's this collar. With the clothing, you see a lot of people do this to just kind of end it, You don't want to draw too much of the clothing because it's just like it takes away from the face. So here, this part's darker for his neck. It's got some highlight. This one's in shadow, so this one's dark from the collar. Okay. So you can see how dark this is, right? It really pulls the eye down. But hopefully when I start making the everything here darker and also up in the face, then we won't concentrate as much on the bottom here. Okay, so here's the collar, and then this part's dark, so I'm just gonna fade that out. Continue the neck. Then here's his shirt. Just round down. And the shirt is really dark, but again, if you make that too dark, you just kind of pull the eye away from the face. So I'm just gonna just roughly just shade it in for now. Just give it a slight shade. You can always make it darker, but I think I'll probably just leave it like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually re-watching Breaking Bad series, and I'm almost done. Only have a couple episodes left, but yeah, what a great series, huh? Jeez. It's so good that I wished I haven't seen it so I can experience it again. But even the second time, it's like there's so much little things that I don't remember about it. So it's actually really fun while rewatching it. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's move on. Okay. So let's add more detail here. The edge right here is actually dark. Ear. Okay, so we gotta put a little bit more detail to the ear now. So maybe I'll just give it overall value for now. And then right here, try to make it a little bit more stylized so I don't have to shade as much. Okay, so here, its head right here, the line's a lot harder. Don't know if I got the right shape, but okay. Right here's dark. Okay, so the top of the head, whatever. It's like I'm not gonna add too much detail to it. All right, so let's balance it out. Maybe this ear right here needs to be a little bit darker so that we can feel the light a little bit more. Because the light is pretty hot coming from this direction. Okay, let's accentuate that so we can feel the light over here, especially in here. Very hot right here. Okay, let's come back down. Okay, so this would be my third pass. Okay, so now for the fourth pass, I'm just let's just concentrate here. Bring out some of the eye and maybe some of the folds. There's a lot of little folds here, which I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to draw in at least some of it, because that's part of his face and it's part of his character. So it won't be as much fun. I just kind of have to go in and really look at it. Okay, but overall, all right, let's just, I think it looks okay. It kind of looks like him, right? So I'll definitely add more detail to it. Put my face over the paper and try to accentuate some of the more important parts and just finish it out. But overall, I think that's pretty much it. Now it's just have to get to the grind. Alright, so that's it for this, and I'm just gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna walk away and then I'll come back to it, and hopefully I can improve it a lot more and show you guys the final drawing. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, let me know what you guys want me to sketch. Just give me some ideas in the comments below, and if you're not, please do subscribe, and I will see you next time.